Tonight you have heard our Commonwealth's case against our client, Ms. Rampling. We ask you, do you believe beyond a reasonable doubt that Ms. Rampling intentionally committed this crime of arson and as a result murder? If lighting a candle is grounds for sending any person to prison for the rest of their natural lives, then I argue that we should not focus on this trial, but focus on our state's legislature towards changing the guidelines for ownership of candles and ban them completely. We, as a defense team, are not minimizing the devastating impact that this accident had on the property of Ms. Rampling and the family and friends of Mr. Cotton. If punishment is what you're looking for, then I believe she'll be punishing herself for the rest of her life. You heard Ms. Rampling testify to her suicidal tendencies, and I believe that she is putting herself through way more punishment than any prison system ever could. During tonight's proceedings, we have produced countless testimony towards the defendant's good intentions and character. You have heard her mother testify to the fact that she was a fun-loving and independent woman, while her coworkers deemed her an extremely dedicated and hardworking young professional. You've also seen the defendant, a normally happy individual, now a broken woman, who lost the love of her life along with parts of her home and her belongings. Our opponents may lead you to believe that she is set forth on this path of destruction for her own benefit, but I ask you, why would any person want to bring harm upon their loved ones and destroy the only light of hope in her life? The simple answer is they wouldn't. It is the reality, as testified by our arson expert, that only a slight 2% of all house fires are started by candles and are intentional. And the setting of a candle would not be the most efficient way to commit arson. It is extremely unlikely that this young, bright woman, and who is completely devastated, would fall into this category of these vicious 2%. So if you believe that, the state has attempted to lead you to believe that our client, under financial instability, was in danger of losing her house, and we are not denying this. But therefore, she has set out to commit a crime that could have sent her to prison? I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, this is absurd. Our society is in the middle of a recession, and people from every part of the country are in danger of losing their houses. Should these people live in fear of an accident sending them to jail for the rest of their lives? If financial difficulties are the only reason you need to convict felony murder, then we should warn every poverty-stricken family within the United States. Mrs. Rampling had accepted her financial fate and was relieved to have this burden lifted off her shoulders through foreclosure, when an accidental fire struck and forced her to lose her house and her beloved at the same time. I ask you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you ever had a bad day? Have you ever forgotten to shut off an appliance? Have you ever forgotten to lock your door before leaving the house? Have you ever forgotten to blow out a lit candle after you left the room? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, then picture yourself in Ms. Rampling's position, when her life has been turned upside down by an innocent oversight, and she has now lost everything. Her home is devastated. She has lost all her belongings and her boyfriend. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are going to put her in jail for the rest of her life for lighting a candle? That is the exact definition of injustice in our fair country. And if this helpless young woman's freedoms are taken away, then our court systems have failed us. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have drugged this young woman through the trenches, causing her to relive devastation caused not only to physically her property, but emotionally to her soul. This is not a case of arson murder, but of accidental devastation.